Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, Sergio, Alexis Rocha improved to 22-1 following a spectacular knockout win over George Ashe on Saturday. Afterwards, Rocha made it clear who he wants next.
Question you asked me yesterday, I'm ready for the big names. Errol Spence doesn't want to fight Crawford for some reason. He's fighting Thurman. I'm next in the WBO. I want Crawford next.
Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, they met with Terence Crawford this week, posted a photo of it on social media. Is that the fight you want next?
That's the fight I'm ready for next. Let's go. Everyone always asks me, am I ready? I won't know until I'm in there with him.
Why do you feel you're ready for that fight right now?
I'm ready for the big names. I know what I'm capable of. I know when I fight whoever it is in front of me, I'm going to just take it up every level, every step. And I just want to say one more thing. Viva Mexico, cabrones!
So, Sergio, we know Rocha wants Bud Crawford. Is Rocha, though, the best option for Bud?
The only best option for Bud Crawford should be Errol the Truth Spence, Chris Mannix. But since we're not going to get the truth, we're not going to get Spence and Crawford. So what does it matter who Crawford fights next? I'm all for whoever he fights. He just finished fighting David Avanesian, a fight that ultimately no one really cared about because it wasn't Errol Spence. It's going to be the exact same thing if Crawford fights Virgil Ortiz, Alexis Rocha, whoever he fights. If it's not Errol Spence, no one's really going to give it much weight. It's going to be good for Alexis Rocha, a 25-year-old who's willing to fight one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. It's great for Virgil Ortiz, who's willing to do the same. All these young guns are willing to bite off more than they can chew. They're willing to fight the big dogs, but the big dogs don't want to fight other big dogs. So I'm just going to say it, man. What does it matter? If Crawford is not fighting Spence, what does it matter? I'm all for Alexis Rocha.
Of course it matters. Of course it matters who he fights. Look, everyone in the boxing world wants to see Terence Crawford against Errol Spence. But for now, that fight is not possible. Errol Spence is going to fight Keith Thurman in the month of May. So if you're Terence Crawford, who has basically been just a once-a-year fighter for the last 3 years, do you just sit around and do nothing and cross your fingers and hope that you get an Errol Spence fight sometime in the fall? No, of course not. You look for the best available options. And if you look across the boxing landscape, Terence Crawford is not going to do business with Top Rank. That ended badly. He's not doing business right now with PBC. There's nobody really on the Matchroom side. So Golden Boy and Alexis Rocha makes a lot of sense. In fact, if Terence Crawford made a 2-fight deal with Golden Boy, he could put himself in position for a pretty good year. No, Alexis Rocha is not a pound-for-pound guy, but he is 6-0 since his loss to Rashidi Ellis, and he is number 3 right now in the WBO rankings. And if Crawford beats Rocha, Virgil Ortiz is not a bad option in the second half of the year. Virgil Ortiz is going to face Stanionis in April for the secondary WBA title. If Errol Spence stays at 154, like most people expect Errol Spence to do, then that title will become a full title. So if Terence Crawford took on Virgil Ortiz, then he could become the unified champion at welterweight before the end of the year. And while, no, it's not a Spence fight, that is a pretty damn good year for Terence Crawford.
All I heard in that rant of yours trying to back up 2 contenders, highly ranked, gifted contenders, is for now. For now, they're okay. For now has lasted 3 or 4 years already. We've been waiting for Errol Spence. That's who we still should be pressuring Crawford to fight. If we're not going to get the 2 best pound-for-pound fighters at their absolute peak, then they should be fighting whoever's next in line. So if that's Alexis Rocha and Virgil Ortiz, yeah, of course I'm fine for it. It's going to be a good fight. They're not pound-for-pound material. They're not even champions yet. They're contenders. So you want the arguably number 1 fighter pound-for-pound in the world to fight a contender? And you're going to be fine with that just for now?
What would you do? What would you do? If you were Terence Crawford, what would you do? Sit on the sidelines and pray that your next round of negotiations with Al Heyman will go better? Or do you be proactive and try to make some good fights?
What would I do if I was Crawford? Well, I would fight David Avanesian type fight again for $10 million, just like he finished doing.
Okay,
it's all about money for these fighters.
That's over. That's
well,
over.
He's going to fight someone similar to that for a lot of money on BLK or other networks.
Oh, okay. You're sure BLK Prime's got the money now? You're sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I wasn't sure that I wasn't even sure that check was going to clear, but it did. All right, he got $10 million for Avanesian.
Okay, so all right, so
what he should do, he should fight another fight like that. Make a boatload of money, make $100 million, and never fight the best.
$100 million. Was it raining? Is it raining $100 million bills? What are we talking about here? Your whole strategy is twofold. One, pray that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence comes together. And two, pray that BLK Prime or some other new player on the scene comes in and throws a boatload of cash at Crawford. I am not praying
for that. I am not praying for that mega fight. I would like people to pressure, not pray, pressure these two. Don't give them the money. Don't give them opportunities. Don't give them a stay busy interim fight. It's either this or nothing. People need to get it. I mean, Crawford's they're both in their mid 30s. They're not going to be in their absolute prime anymore. So if this fight's not happening this year, what does it matter?
It's not the point, though. It's because it does matter, because he's got to fight, because you got to stay sharp, because you got to continue your career. My question was, Sergio, is Rocha the best option for Bud? And I see no other option out there that is a better option right now for Alexis Rocha, who could turn out to be his mandatory challenger for that title. And it could be a situation where he has to fight Alexis Rocha or vacate that title. So I don't see any option better right now than Alexis Rocha.
The only option should be Errol Spence. And
it's not
nothing else. That's it. Nothing else.
Then retire.
Matter.
Then retire. Then we're going to retire. Everybody should retire and only fight once if that fight's unavailable. Just only fight if you
out
get
of
that
all
fight.
People, I can't believe you're backing this up. You've been pressuring this fight for so long, and all of a sudden,
it's not there.
You're throwing Bud Crawford a bone or two with guys that are highly ranked and gifted and strong and powerful. And I would love to see him fight, but that's not the fight we need. That's not the fight boxing wants. And ultimately, it doesn't matter.
Sergio, the fight with Spence is not available. What part of that isn't clear? The fight with Spence can't happen until at least the second half of the year. Your suggestion is he should just wait and do nothing.
No,
or hope
I never
that
said
there's money
wait.
out there.
I never said wait. I said you pressure him. You pressure him. Give him no other alternative. No other choice to go anywhere else.
He's fighting Thurman. That's it. It's done. May 2023. Showtime pay-per-view. What would you do if you're Terence Crawford?
Well, then we're never going to get this fight because people like you are always going to give him a pass. Oh, they're not going to be available. They're always going to be looking for an interim fight. This fight's never going to happen, all right? That's it.
Let's throw some jabs.